Hello, grade 3. This is Mr. Jeremy here to explain your lesson for today, Wednesday, March 25th. This lesson is actually an introduction to our first video lesson tomorrow, which is March 26th, Thursday. So you can use this lesson to prepare you for tomorrow's lesson if I see you. Today, in this lesson, we will review how to talk and write about actions, okay, so those red words that happen at different times. We will also learn how to talk and write about actions that happen from the past until now. So remember, we have actions that happen anytime. What do we mean by anytime? Anytime means any single time, okay, in your life, including morning, that's one time, afternoon, or night. So when you're talking about an action that happens in the morning, it could happen at 6:45 a.m., like when you eat breakfast, or 11 when you eat lunch, or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, or 6:30 at night. Okay, anytime could be March 2019, which was last year, or March 2020, or March 2021. So anytime is any or all the time in your life. So when we're talking or writing about any time, like I mentioned, we're talking about the past, we're talking about now and the future. Okay, so think of like a circle, like a cycle. So how do we write an anytime question? You have learned, do you eat candy? That's an anytime question. So I want you to think back how to answer an anytime question with yes or no. So I don't have the stars today, but anytime you see, type your answers here, type an answer for yes and an answer for no in the slide. Here's another anytime question. Does Mr. Jeremy eat candy? So that's anytime, whether that's morning, evening, afternoon, 6:45, 11, 2 p.m., 2021, 2020, anytime. So again, type your answers here, yes or no. Now we're looking at a different time. Now, N-O-W. So when I say now, I'm not talking about all the time. I'm not talking about any time. I'm talking about at this time. So how do you know what is at this time? Well, look at your watch, okay, or the clock, and that is now. So whatever time you see on the clock, that is now. So this is a now question. Normally in English, when people ask this kind of question, they're asking about an action that's happening at this time. So we've learned this in class. Are you eating candy? Okay, so if you look at the timeline, you see the blue dot represents now, and then the one before it is the past, so there's a red line through it, so we're not talking about the past. And then we have a purple dot representing the future. There's a red line through it, which means we're not talking about the future, we're just talking about now. Another now question, is Mr. Jeremy eating candy? So how do you answer a question like that? Yes and no. So another time that we can talk about or write about when we are writing or speaking about actions is called the past. So what do we mean by the past? You have learned that the past means one time before now, okay? And the action is finished. Okay? So for example, we have Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. That's an example of the past. We have March 2019. That's last year. And we have 6:30 p.m. That is a time in the past because right now, as I am speaking, it is 6:49 p.m. So those are examples of the past. So like I said, past means one time before now, finished. So here is a question about the past. Did Mr. Jeremy eat candy? So when you hear the words did in the question, you know they're talking about one time before now. Type your answers here, one yes sentence and one no. And another question about the past, did you eat candy? Type your answers here, yes and no. So if you look at the timeline here, we see the yellow dot, the past. Okay, we see the blue dot, which represents now. That's crossed out, so we're not talking about now. The red line through it means we're not talking about now. And then the future, which is after now, is also crossed out. So we're only talking about one dot or one time in the past that is finished. No more. Okay. Now, I have a couple of new questions for you. I want you to try to answer them to the best of your ability, okay? Do not Google the answer. Do not look in the dictionary. I want you to type your answer and prepare for our lesson tomorrow to see if you know. So I'm not interested in research right now. I just want to know how you would answer these questions. The first question is, have you eaten candy today? Type your answers here. So if you answer yes and no, how do you think you answer that? And the next question is, has Mr. Jeremy eaten candy today? Again, type your answers yes or no. All right, grade 3, this is just to help prepare you for tomorrow's lessons. We will go over this part and also we will learn about a new time that we can talk and write about. Thank you.